Good evening, everyone. Whether you're here or online, thank you for joining us. My portion is just to share about what's been going well, what I've been doing since I've been here, and what have we've heard from you, and what have we done about what we've heard from you. So what have I been doing? Since September 1st, I've visited 31 schools, and when I say I visit, I mean I go into classrooms. I intentionally talk to teachers, principals, custodians, cafeteria workers, everybody. I've had an opportunity to meet with student groups, our student advisory, as well as our teacher advisory, principal advisory. So what are some things that we've heard that are going well? We appreciate that. And then we're going to also talk about some things that it's like, oh, we can have some growth. We need some growth. So one of the things that we've heard that's going well is the support from our associate superintendents. Support has to feel like support. And that was one thing we heard from our associate superintendents, that from our constituents, that the support from associate superintendents was real. Also, we heard that APS Police Department, they're doing a great job. Let's give our police department a round of applause. We heard that all the schools had social workers, and people were excited about that because we know our students need the wraparound services. Principals like the budgetary flexibility as well as the cluster model. They like that opportunity to say, hey, I want to pay for an extra teacher for literacy. Or hey, I want to get 2 paras. Also, they like that MAP is our universal screener. That means every school in our district uses MAP. K-8, we have some high schools as well, but K-8, they use that as their universal screener, and principals like that as well as their teachers so they can know the measurement, how they're comparing with other schools, and how they're preparing for the end of grade and end of course tests. Opportunities for growth. We know we have to grow. So one of the things we heard was our new system called IEP Online. Special ed teachers were like, oh my God, it is a lot. And it was. And we had to listen to them. But what did our special ed department do? They reset. They said, okay, we're going to offer this training. And if you need one-on-one help, we're going to do that as well. But they have training every week. Training is available if they need it. They will come and sit beside the special ed lead teacher to work with that teacher because we know, again, support must feel like support. We heard that all schools wanted special ed lead teachers full-time. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but that's something that we can look at. So we hear you. So we wanted to put it out there. We hear you. Professional learning days. In October, we had a couple of professional learning days, and the principals, when I first walked in, said, hey, we really need those days at our school. We pivoted. We said, absolutely, you can have those days. Again, support has to feel like support. We can't keep operating in the manner that we're central office and we push down things. We have to listen to our teachers, our parents, as well as our principals. Other opportunities for growth that was shared with us, about high school students taking the MAP assessment. We pulled back on that as well because the high school principals were saying it's taking up too much of our time. So we really use it for our students. We've realized they may have some instructional struggles, so some of those students may take it, but it would not be for all the 9th and 10th graders. Also, we heard that students in AVA, which is Atlanta Virtual Academy, needed an opportunity for credit recovery. So what do? We have something called Grad U. And with that, all the high school principals have been trained on Grad U in order to give those students in Atlanta Virtual Academy an opportunity to get some recover some credits if they're struggling in classes. Also, math. I was talking with one of our principals, our middle school principal earlier tonight, and we were talking about math. So what do? We looked at the math, and sometimes you have to push back and say, is this right for our students? So principals had an opportunity after we researched and saw the work that was happening or the work that wasn't meeting our students' needs to push back and gave principals a choice. And principals and teachers truly appreciated that, as well as parents, because parents were screaming as well that my kid is not moving. I mean, they were listening to their kids coming home saying, all I do is look at the computer all day for mathematics. Now, was everybody doing that? No. But if one school is doing that, is that too many? Absolutely. Because we're here for all of Atlanta Public Schools children. Next, we talked about our counselors. And I have high school counselors up there, but it's for all counselors. We heard feedback from our principals as well as counselors saying, hey, everybody's having us do something. We can't focus on our real work. So we hear you, principals. We hear you, counselors. We have a stakeholder group. They're going to meet and talk about their workload and what we can do to remove those barriers so they can support the students in the school. Building new teacher capacity. Our PL department, our professional learning, and human resources department, they're working together to ensure that our new teachers are getting the trainings that they need, the support that they need through mentors, as well as any support that they need from other departments. We've heard from our principals, we've heard from our teachers, we've even heard from the Georgia Department of Education. We're walking our buildings too much. And so we had to pull back. All walkthroughs must cease unless they're orchestrated by their associate superintendents. There were some questions about the fine arts department, and one parent was concerned that all schools, high schools, did not have a band. Well, I'm pleased to say that this year all of our high schools do have a band. We need to put more money in the budget for our arts department. As well as many of you, some of the parents mentioned maybe having yoga classes at the schools. Please know that schools have the autonomy to have Zen rooms, relaxation rooms for their teachers and students. So we let the principals decide that at their schools. Growth is a journey. We have a long road to take. I always tell people we got a short runway. I got 8 months, and we want to make some impact in those 8 months. I'm always asking principals, was that helpful? Did that support feel like support? So my goal is to continuously listen. We want them to be able to share what's really going on and how we can really help them. Because at the bottom line, we all want our students to be successful. Thank you so much.